Well, hi there and welcome along to What's the Word here from Punchestown this week. Looking forward to the Saturday action. We'll touch on the Guineas as well. Joined by Nicola McGeady from Ladbrokes, as always. How are you, Nicola?
Yeah, good, thanks. It's been a long week.
It's been a hell of a week, in fairness. Mark Boylan steps in as well. You well, Mark?
After happy days, all good, thank God.
And Patrick Mullins as well. It's been an intense week, as was mentioned there in the build-up. How has it been for you?
Yeah, it's had its ups and downs. I mean, obviously...
One man's kind of stolen the headlines a little bit, but...
yeah, a big shock with Ruby. I mean, he kept his cards close to his chest. We'd heard the rumours, but we all thought he would continue for another year or two. But he did what that rarest of sporting commodities, the perfect ending, and he nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose it's kind of fitting that it was just delivered perfectly on time, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's Ruby. He understands the syntax of race riding better than anyone. He gets the logistics of being in the right place at the right time better than any other jockey. And there'll be other champion jockeys and there'll be other jockeys who win big races, but there's been lots of bonds, but only one Connery.
And absolutely. And what about to you guys? What difference will it be to you day to day? Like, you're not having him there. Well, he'd probably be down around still, but not riding.
I imagine he's still going to be heavily involved in the yard. You know, he's been around our place since he's been 16, and he's still going to be, I imagine he'll be down riding work and still be involved in entries and declarations. And look, he missed a lot of last season, and Paul Townend stepped in, and we had more winners last season than we ever had. So the king is dead, but long live the king. Where Paul will slip in seamlessly.
Good stuff. Well, let's move on to the action, the Grade 1 action on Saturday. We'll start with the Annie Paris Mares Hurdle. I assume Benny did choose a pretty warm order here, Nicola?
Yeah, very strong favourite. She won last year. That dramatic fall at Cheltenham still gives punters nightmares, I think, but she's reportedly in very good form, and the ground, I think, and everything will be ideal. She takes on stablemates Good Time Tara and Stormy Ireland. They're 7 and 10 to 1. Trip and Track will both suit, but it's very hard to look past the favourite.
Clear round is all she needs, really, is it?
It should be. She should be a different class than these. We think she's a top class mare. She's come out of her fall, no problems. Stormy Ireland was probably going to be 5 or 6 or 7 lengths behind her in Cheltenham, and as Nicola said, this track will probably suit her more. Yeah. So if someone's looking to play a value bet, Stormy Ireland's probably the one.
Absolutely. And I mean, where do you think Benny Didier could sort of end up next year? What hopes do you guys have for her?
It's difficult to say. I mean, she's still unexposed over fences, but really the Mares Hurdle is a race that looks made for her in Cheltenham. Yeah. So I imagine we'll go back there again. But she's very versatile, a bit like Vroom Vroom Mag. But hopefully we just get tomorrow out of the way. Yeah,
absolutely. We'll move on to the other Grade 1 of the afternoon.
15 to 8 favourite. Fakir Dairies 11 to 4. Of course, was runner up there behind Pentland Hills. Aintree 4th in the Supreme, but I still think we think Fusel Raffles will have too much. French May, though, which Patrick will probably tell us a bit more, ran a career best at Fairyhouse and isn't one to be dismissed. She's in there 3 to 1.
Yeah, French May really stepped up at Fairyhouse. Do you think she's up to this?
She improved a lot from her, her run in Cheltenham, where she was a good bit behind Gardens of Babylon. I think Gardens of Babylon was probably a little unlucky in Fairyhouse. He didn't get the clearest of runs.
Yeah.
This mare, she's like a catwalk model. There's not a pick on her. She's very difficult to train that way. And it would be a concern maybe backing up quite quickly.
Yeah.
A short rest period between races. We don't know, but she doesn't look like a big robust mare who should be able to do that. So that is the concern. Obviously, Nicky's horse is coming here, having missed Cheltenham and Aintree, which could be a positive, you could say he's fresh, or it could be a negative, you don't know, maybe they're rushing him to get him here, so it's going to be an intriguing race.
Mark, who do you fancy here?
Very strong on Fusel Raffles, really impressed at Kempton, and it was a deep cut that he got there that ruled him out at Cheltenham. I thought he would have been a real player in the Triumph if he did go. I think myself, the form of Fairyhouse, I wasn't too gone on it. Gardens of Babylon flashed home. We'll see how he fares later on this afternoon, but I'm not entirely sold on it. And I think myself, maybe if there is a bit of value there, I think Cocoa Beach ran a cracker in the Fred Winter. Band of Outlaws subsequently disappointed at Aintree, but that wasn't his ground. He was bullied early on, didn't quite fancy it. I really think that Cocoa Beach, if he arrived here after winning the Fred Winter, take Band of Outlaws out of it, he's a lot shorter than he is, so I think he's around 8 or 9 to 1. He should be banged there, I think, but Fusel Raffles could be a class above.
Good, so we're just going to look elsewhere in the Punchestown card. Patrick on Ballycasey in the cross country. How is he? He's a bit of an enigma, is he?
I'm really looking forward to riding him. He ran poorly here in February, but he got a kick at the start and finished lame afterwards, so I think he put a line through that. He was much better in Cheltenham, and 3 miles good ground, it'll suit him. I think he's got 12 stone 7, so I'll have a good dinner tonight.
Yeah, nice.
I'm really looking forward to riding him, and I ride a nice stowaway horse in the bumper who is out of a full sister to Denman.
Okay.
Woman. So Tackle Move is his name. He was second in a point. He's a big, raw, chasing type, but I really like him, and I expect a big showing from him here tomorrow.
Are you ride Mr. Adjudicator as well as in the
I picked up Mr. Adjudicator in the big handicap hurdle. Lucky enough to win it 2 years ago on Open Eagle. It's going to be hard for him, a 5-year-old with top weight. He pulled up in Fairy House. Ruby thought he wasn't going, but we couldn't. He seemed fine after the race, so we're going to change his tack, have a different bridle on him. It's going to be very difficult with top weight and carrying me as well. That's not easy. But
yeah, but it's all person though. You're fine. There's no lead.
Yeah. So no, looking forward to it. But I think Paul on 8 and Bob, who ran far too keen with Ruby in Fairy House, put a line to that run. He gets in with 10 stone 2. I think he's a horse that still has £2 up his sleeve.
Okay, that's fair enough. Mark, you liked the one in the Tom Taff race at 5 o'clock.
Actually, in the same race, I would give a shout to Sayar as well. I was a fan of him as a novice. He won that Joe Mack novice at Tipperary that Willie's won with Penn Hill in previous, and quick grab him this year. I do think he's smart. Has lost his way a little bit. Obviously, must have had problems along the way. Somehow he's been running on the flat there in maidens as well as the last couple of times in big handicaps. And Paul sided with him on both occasions. Rachel takes over tomorrow. She won this race last year on Mary DeVee. Just think he's off a fair mark. He's around mid 130s, 135 sort of territory. He should be bang there, but Walk to Free is probably my strongest shout tomorrow. I really liked his run at Fairy House when he was third. I think he was size in Rome. I think he was third in the big handicap there. He's £6 lower over fences than he is over hurdles, and he's a fair operator over hurdles now. And his time when he ran in the Pertemps qualifier that was Sarah de Burley was with, he and Sarah de Burley both ran quicker than Apple's Jade did in their final circuit on the same card. So he is useful when he gets his conditions. I think he'll improve for going that experience back over fences last time. He could take plenty of beating. Puppy's on the last 2 renews that race as well.
Don't get Patrick started on times. It's a little bit.
It only counts when you're in jail.
You're going to
give a quick word on Newmarket, Patrick. I'm going to sit this one out, but just give us a look at the market for the 2,000 guineas. It's intriguing here with Ryan Moore on 10 sovereigns. There's probably a question mark over stamina.
Yeah, it's very open 2,000 guineas with no standout red hot favourite. The 2 O'Briens head the betting. Aidan's going for his 10th win in this race, but we do make 10 sovereigns one we want to keep on side, 3-1. Magna Gracia, there is question marks there as well, and we're top price about him. Mad Moon, top price 15-2. We're willing to take them all on. We just were running scared of 10 sovereigns. But the worst result in the book is advertised. It's got the Frankie factor and it's 7-1.
Yeah, that's actually quite short now on advertisement. Good bit of score for that.
Almost when Frankie was jocked up.
He's only been beaten by 2 horses in his life, Too Darn Hot and Calyx. That's pretty good form.
Yeah, it is.
Go on, Mark.
Yeah.
You have nailed your colours to the mast a long time out here.
A long way out, and I don't know. It's kind of like if you're putting all your eggs in one basket for weather someday, and it pisses down you the next day. You know, it's I'm a little bit cautious now as it gets close to the time.
You have it in a big basket. And what price do you have Mad Moon at?
I'm nibbling at him from 33s for a few months, and I'm doubling them with a lot of things, and I don't know, listen,
you'll be a nervous wreck tomorrow.
I won't be well, yeah. I'll be watching that on my own somewhere. No, look, I think he's a class horse, and everything about him from the minute he won first time out, he's looked classy. I was disappointed, to be honest with you, at Leopardstown when he got beat. I didn't think that was a Guineas worthy performance, but he should step up big time. The reports have been bullish since. I really have a lot of time for the horse. Just a slight concern, if he was to... Ken Prendergast has mentioned he's a relation of Autad. Autad has a better mind than Mad Moon, he says. I would just be a little bit concerned that if the occasion got to him a little bit, but to be honest, the fact that there isn't a huge amount between Magna Gracia and 10 sovereigns would suggest maybe that there isn't a superstar between them for a Guineas yet in Ballydoyle. I think it's a watery Guineas. A lot of the leaders have fallen by the wayside. Roll on Mad Moon, please, God.
Roll on Mad Moon. It'd be magic, wouldn't it, if Kevin Prendergast were to win an English Classic?
That'd be fantastic. I mean, he's a living legend in the truest sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Patrick, I'm going to leave you off your Guineas tip. Or you want to give us a Guineas tip?
No, I'm fine. But I want to know, should we be backing you in the charity race tomorrow?
Well, I might have your britches. I might need a tactical heads up though for that. On board Geological on Saturday.
You go short and running from the front, no?
I will go short and running. There's only one way of going on him, unfortunately. So I just have to sit and hope. But the 1,000 guineas on Sunday as well. That's also wide open. Kabbalah 2 from 2. But I mean, she's almost kind of favourite by default, is she?
She is. I mean, we needed to have a clear favourite for this race, so thank God she won the Nell Gwen so impressively. Yeah. She's 11-4 favourite. Moyglaire winner, Skitter Scatters in there at 6-1. Fairyland 13-2. You'd say it's a weak enough 1,000 guineas, I think.
Yeah, we do. Any suggestion selection? I think if you were on at fat prices on Iridessa, who's
I really liked her Leopardstown run. Thought that was cracking. I'd love to see Lady Kaya run a big one. To be honest though, I think there's value down below. I think Hermosa is a big price at 33s. She was a really promising filly last year. She's ran in Group 1. She's been placed behind Skitter Scatter, behind Iridessa, and then went over and was second to the boys in France. I could just see her running a big one now. Wayne Lorden aboard. Just I wouldn't underestimate the Aiden's lower down strings in this one. I don't think there's a standout amongst them as well. But Iridessa, the win proposition. For me though, Hermosa represents a good bit of value at 33 each
Yeah,
way.
I would actually pop up Star Terms as well, who's doing her best work late behind Dan Do, who's about a third of the price. Again, Patrick, we'll leave you off your 1,000 guinea selection. Unless you want to chime in with a Kentucky Derby winner.
No, I'll leave that to the experts.
Right, let's get our best bets for Saturday or indeed the weekend. And Patrick, we'll start with you.
I really strong on Ballycasey. I think the penny's dropping him cross country racing, and he's a long way clear of the rest of them on class.
Good stuff. Anything else for you on Saturday or across the board? Anything you'd like to see win?
Obviously, I'd love to see Benny win, just because
Yeah.
after Shetland, just get back on winning tracks, and I think just to finish off the season well would be great.
Good stuff. Go on, Mark.
Nah, a bit out of the way, but 620 Doncaster. I've a lot of time for archaeology. Used to be with Johnny
man,
Murtagh.
Mark. Good man.
Johnny and
Do you
Jed
know one of
O'Keefe.
Wolverhampton, no?
I wish I did. Yeah,
Go on,
take them
go
wherever
on.
they
Okay,
come.
Doncaster
But,
620.
Yeah, archaeology. I think he's off a mark of 80 now, but he won a Navan maiden over 5.5 for Johnny Murtagh. I caught the eye in a lot of maidens prior to that. Johnny and Jed O'Keefe at the start of the year. Lovely run first time up there at Newmarket. Ups to a mile here. Jamie on. You could just see Jamie settling him nice and relaxed, coming through with a late burst, using the speed he used at Navan. Just think he could be a little bit of a price and could give a big shout there in Doncaster.
Good stuff. And anything else in the Punchestown card? Seems we're, at Punchestown.
No, I said to you, walk to freedom and say
Walk to
outside
freedom.
of the walk through him pretty confidently.
Good stuff. And fingers crossed for Mad Moon for a career changer. Yeah?
I'll have a GoFundMe page if not.
Right stuff. Nicola, your best bets for the weekend.
This is really boring. I'll go for one each side of the pond. At Punchestown, I'm going to stick with Fuso Raffles and the 4-year-old hurdle, and 2,000 guineas. I think it's very hard to look past 10 sovereigns.
Good stuff. I'm with Advertise in the Guineas. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again next week with more What's the Word. Thanks for joining us at Punchestown all week.